So, as some of you know, maybe not all, but my fiance, my love of my life, just recently passed away. This is Lyra, by the way. Ingrid in dog form. So, as I was processing her passing, of course, many mixed emotions, mourning, a little bit of the what if, all these different things. And what I came to realize, this is just from my own personal belief structure, is that, I believe that we all choose our parents, our upbringing, major life events, karma that needs to be cleared. So I know that coming into this life that I chose this as a particular outcome. And I actually believe that, Ingrid is my twin flame, which is essentially, we're all made in God's likeness or source or whatever you want to call it, prime creator, that basically it's one soul that splits into a yin and yang or duality or masculine and feminine as a representation of two souls in one whole. And some of the duality that I just picked up on, this is just recently, I didn't even really realize it until after Ingrid has passed, but she was born in South America. I was born in North America. When she came to the United States, she was on the West Coast. I grew up on the East Coast. We both had certain life lessons that needed to be learned from experiences that we had with our father. I'm not going to get into detail about that, but that's very similar, but also equal and opposite. And we both had a stepfather figure in our life that was a huge pillar of support. And then also, she's very outgoing. She's a free spirit. I'm more laid back. She eat a bunch of junk food. I eat super healthy. And the list goes on and on about that. But what happens is through creation is that since we're made in God's likeness, there's a descension. So coming from prime creator source down in dimensional frequency, slowly coming from pure light. And the lower you go in vibration or frequency, the more denser you become in physical. And of course, right, as we've experienced for a long time since the fall of Atlantis, is that we've been in this three-dimensional matrix. So it seems, everything's very real and solid when it's really not. Energy is made, or atoms are made up of 99% empty space. It's just the illusion or whatever you want to call it. But then at the point where you've come down to the densest layer of existence, now the only way to go is to ascend back up. And this, in the Bible they call it the rapture. And Buddhism, they call it the activation of the rainbow body and going up. And in the Kabbalah they talk about the Merkaba, your light body, as being a vessel to go higher in dimensions. And so basically what happens is that the more you transcend duality and find that singularity of like 0 point of just being the observer in the moment and not being attached to one way or another, you're just simply observing life. And then you have the ability to remain present without focusing on the past and future. So you are a co-creator, manifesting your own reality by your words, thoughts, and deeds. And you're able to go through and not only appreciate the light side of you, but also everybody has the darkness in them too. And so working on your shadow, unifying that yin and yang as one, and then allows you to be able to vibrate at a higher frequency. And so I believe most of us, are anchored in the fourth dimension right now. They're probably, there's still some in the 3D, and then there's a certain percentage of us in the fifth dimension. And all these different dimensions are existing right here. It's not like we're going anywhere. It's like changing the channel of a television, attuning your frequency to a higher level. And so as we're ascending, I believe that, people who have passed recently are already waiting for us in the fifth dimension. That's essentially what heaven is in the Bible, and all of the religious and mysticism and the sages, the shamans, everyone. It's been talked about for thousands of years. This is nothing new. But that she's already waiting for me in the heaven or fifth dimension, and so me being able to ascend that will be able to reunite our energy. But even though there's no separation either, because in quantum entanglement, if you take one atom and spin it clockwise and it's entangled with another atom, the other one automatically spins counterclockwise. It doesn't matter the distance. So this entangled atom on Earth could be spinning clockwise, and the moment it starts spinning clockwise, that other entangled atom on the moon will spin counterclockwise. So there is no separation, because everything's tied into the quantum field of energy. Everything's just waves of energy. And so since we're all unified in that oneness, that field of energy, that we're all connecting with each other. I'm still connected with Ingrid as well as everybody else. And so as a collective, once enough of us have hit that, I guess you could say, tipping point, is when, the actual switch will happen and the ascension will take place. And I heard this, from a guy I follow on Instagram. His name's Ishmael Perez. He's a Starseed Galactic Ambassador, very evolved soul and old soul. You can follow him on Instagram at Project Restoration Zion 1. And he said something that really resonated with me, that we will all be reunited with our twin flame after the ascension, because it's the coming back together, the evolution of becoming one for your soul's mission. And so from the point that you're able to ascend and reunite your soul, then you have the opportunity, to be able, once you get past that point, you have the opportunity to become a star. Then you have the opportunity to become a planet. Then you have the opportunity to evolve into being a galaxy. Then you have the opportunity to evolve in creating a universe, if that is what your choice is, soul's choice, is that the union of the twin flame is actually the creation, a fundamental principle of creation of new stars, planets, galaxies, and universes in the multiverse that we're in. And so I just think there's something very special to be said about that. It just kind of makes sense to me. But at the end of the day, the whole goal is to just transcend your duality, be grounded into the earth, anchoring your light, but also doing what you need to be able to be free of all attachments, so you have the ability to be able to eventually manipulate matter and co-create whatever you want. Just from my own personal experiences of actually knowing manifesting and how it works for, the last decade, and never doing it, and then actually putting it into real practice over the past year, my life has completely transformed. Anxiety has left me, stress has left me, fear has left me, because I'm just vibrating in that loving frequency. And yes, of course, I miss Ingrid. I wish she was here. I miss her love, her touch, her laugh, her smell, her being, or and everything like that. But at the same time, I also do believe there's only two ways you can ascend into higher dimensions. One is through death, which is what a lot of the ascended masters, the Mayans, and other indigenous cultures and ancient cultures have done in the past. But now we'll actually have the opportunity to be able to keep this vessel and be able to ascend with it. And the higher we're ascending, your body's going to get less physical and more light along the way. And so I just think it's also very unique that with her passing, she chose to ascend that way. And with I'm going to be ascending, God willing, through life. And there goes right back to the duality of the twin flame, of the completion of our soul's experience as divine masculine and divine feminine. So just knowing that we all chose everything in this life before coming, it's to embrace challenges and lessons and not really look at them as, being good or bad. It's just experiencing and taking those lessons and transforming and transmuting them for your highest good, because that is what's going to help evolve your soul. Taking a deep look in the mirror of your being in yourself and just trying to be of unconditional service and unconditional love to yourself and all sentient beings. So I hope this helps. It's looking at it from this higher perspective has helped me be at peace with probably the most traumatic experience I've ever had in my life. And had I not been as far along in my journey as I am, let's just say even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, probably would have been a really hard experience for me. But I'm actually at peace knowing that her resonance is vibrating in my heart as mine is in hers. So hope you have an enjoyable weekend, and I hope that if you resonate with this message, that it helps for your highest good too.